The two brand new playable demons, Akaza and Rui, have been out for almost 3 days now, and so in this video I'm going to be breaking each one's strengths and weaknesses down and trying to figure out which one is truly better than the other. Alright, the very first demon we're talking about is Akaza. Now here's the thing, right? For the first 2 days that this update was actually dropped, literally every single rank match I'd go into, it'd be Akaza here, Akaza there, Akaza was literally everywhere. I could not go into a single game without playing this guy. Every single person was playing him. I don't know why, because honestly he's overrated, to be honest. He's good, but he's not great. That being said, he is still very strong. Obviously he likes to get up and close and personal, doing a crap load of damage. However, his biggest weakness is definitely his defense, where he literally he has a 1.25 damage multiplier against him, which is the worst in the game. He has worse defense than Shinobu and Himekami Tanjiro and Rui, who are all at 1.2 times, while him at 1.25 times. Of course, to fit the stage of the game and to be balanced, they had to nerf him a whole bunch, and now he's kind of like a glass cannon. However, the cannon part isn't even that crazy for him. Like I said, he's good, but he's not amazing. He's kind of like Rengoku in a way, but I feel like he's a worse Rengoku. And as you can see in the footage right now, I'm playing as Rengoku and I'm against an Akaza player. The matchup seems pretty equal. His combos are easy to pull off, which makes him just like Rengoku, because I'm gonna be honest, Rengoku's combos are insanely easy to pull off. He's a very casual friendly character, while it's also very strong. I think that's gonna be the same for Akaza. Like, he's very good and very casual friendly, but for competitive play I just don't see him being as versatile. I mean, I feel like he's gonna get punished really hard, and his defense is really gonna hurt him in the long term. Oh, and by the way, for each character, I'm not going to go into their movesets, and I'm pretty sure we've all seen, or at least most of you guys have seen, so many videos on the movesets already, so I feel like that'd be very unnecessary. But that being said, that's kind of my thoughts on Akaza. I really do like his character. The demons are so much fun. They're so unique, especially Rui. He is the only zoner in the game so far. Such a fun character, but also, a skill gap for Rui is pretty high compared to Akaza, who is a really casual, friendly character, but obviously for competitive play, he's not the most ideal. Alright, now we're on to Rui. This one, honestly, if I had to pick which one I like more, not in terms of who's actually better, I would pick Akaza being my favorite out of these two. Rui just seems, I'm more of the type of player to want to get up in personal and just beat the crap out of them rather than play, a zoning game. The thing is, especially with pressure too, like and this is the craziest part I find with Rui, is that when I'm against an Akaza player, I instantly feel that pressure, because like I know as soon as the game starts, they're gonna be on top of me. They're gonna like put all the pressure down. It's almost like a no-skate player. When I go against a no-skate player, I know for a fact they're gonna play super aggressive, because every one of them does. It's the same for Akaza. I know these guys are gonna be super aggressive and put pressure on 24/7, but versus a Rui player, I mean, the pressure isn't really there. It's almost like, oh, it's a Rui player, that's cool. When the game starts, they're probably going to keep their distance, which doesn't put as much pressure on you. Of course, you have to get in there to actually damage, but that pressure part is not as high with Rui. Another thing I want to mention with Rui is that he's not as easy to get into as Akaza. His combos are a bit more advanced, so for the casual audience, or beginners or new people in the game, he won't be as good of a choice, as you gotta learn how to, you really have to know how to play his character. You gotta know how to zone properly, you gotta know how to do all of these other things, and that can be really difficult, because a casual audience might not want to dive that deep into the game and each character. Unlike Akaza, who, I mean, everyone knows in a fighting game, you gotta fight your opponent, everyone knows you gotta rush in there and do all that. But the really good thing about Rui is that I feel like his versatility and competitive is going to be huge versus Akaza, who I feel like Rui has a way bigger advantage. And to be fair, this game's surviving on its competitive scene. I mean, think about it. I mean, they're not like esports, but just competitive in general, because that's all this game has. Like, it has a story mode. Once people play that, I mean, that'd be it. The only reason people are coming back to play is because they want to go online and test their skills in competitive. So for that reason, Rui has a way higher skill ceiling than Akaza, I believe, and also a way higher skill gap, which is pretty huge. Another quick thing that I want to mention is that I have been going against a lot of Rui players recently. Remember how in the Akaza part, how I said for the first 2 days I was only going against Akaza players? And that's not even a joke. I don't think I went against a single Slayer over those 2 days. it was practically 90% Akaza. But here's the thing. On day 3, and this is what I found so fascinating, people weren't using Akaza as much. I found so many Ruis now. I only found a couple of Akazas, well, maybe like 5 or 6 Ruis, and of course a couple of Slayers thrown in there as well. But a lot of people went to Akaza as like, because he was the more hyped of the two, but then found out, oh wait, he's not as strong, and they started moving and switching. But Rui players, very common now. As for some of Rui's combos, he's really good at punishing, his range is crazy. I do find that his aerial attacks are not as quick as I would have hoped they would them to be. Also, of course, 1.2 damage, or defense damage multiplier, which is like tied for second worst. Obviously, Akaza is worst, and then he's tied with Shinobu and Hinokami Tanjiro. But that being said, he is also kind of like a glass cannon, but not as much as Akaza, and honestly, I think that he is the better character of the two in competitive play. However, in a more casual setting, with a more beginner audience, Akaza is definitely going to be the better option here. But the thing is that this game strives on competitive play, and so for that reason, and that reason only, I'm going to give Rui the edge as the better demon of the two. That being said, they've only been out for less than 3 days now. There's so much more that we can learn about them, and of course balance changes could come out and change up everything really, so we'll have to see. Also, I'm probably going to put them on a tier list at some point once more things have come out. However, if I would have had to put them on a tier list right now, I would put Akaza at a solid B tier or a C tier, and I'd put Rui at a solid A tier. I think with a good Akaza player, you can definitely see B to A tier, while a mediocre or just a beginning Akaza player would probably be like a C tier. With Rui players, it actually varies a lot. If you see a really good one, that could be like a S tier to an A tier, and even like average Rui players are probably low A tier, high B tier. But there's definitely a few Rui players who are just horrible, and I've definitely found that because zoning is definitely a harder thing to learn compared to just running in there and spamming buttons. You actually have to learn patience and learn certain things. But like I said, just put some time into Rui, and he's crazy, like really strong. Alright guys, well that's probably going to be the end of the video. If you have any thoughts on this video, future videos, or even just this update in general, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you liked the video, consider liking, maybe subscribing. But with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.